Hey, what's up? This is Jason Drone. Today I have a very special video for you. So, what we're going to do is we are going to talk about marketing automation. We are going to talk about your CRM stack. So, your marketing automation stack, what you need to effectively deploy marketing automation in your business. We're also going to talk about the best niches for marketing automation. So, we're just going to dive right into it. We're going to get started, and I'll see you on the other side. Thanks. So what automation does for you, typically when somebody first learns about you, it's through some traffic source. So the traffic source, it might be Google, it might be a paid ad, it might be a Facebook page post, it might be Instagram, whatever. Wherever your traffic comes from, they learn about you, they click through a link somewhere, they end up on your website and they become a lead. They fill out a form, they become a lead. Once that happens, then you can't just let your lead hang out and do nothing. It's something needs to happen for them. And so many of our clients are like, yeah, we have a big list, but we just don't email. We don't email them, we don't send them stuff, we don't even send them blog posts or like nurture the relationship. At the end of the day, what you will find is the relationship with your customer, your prospect, that one person, is really what a CRM is all about. It's how can you help that person understand your business better so they can make a better buying decision. So that is done through messages, it's done by tagging, certain individuals, it's done by putting them in campaigns, and helping them understand what it is you do. So all CRMs are made up of really 2 to 3 things. You have your trigger. So the trigger is, how did that person, find you? Did they fill out a form? Did they hit a web page? And then you have your campaign. So your campaign is made up of emails, texts, calls, print postcards. All of that outbound stuff is really, the material that is in the campaign. The triggers, form. It could be logic. It could be, if they do this, go here. If they do that, go somewhere else. So really, to get a customer, prospects go through the exact same process every time. They automate, campaigns automate repetitive tasks, so you don't have to do them manually. And they make your marketing as a predictable process. Oftentimes, when we're working with clients, they're like, okay, we're launching. When is our first customer going to come? And I'm like, well, it's a great question. It's kind of a trick question, but it's a great question. And the reason is because in order to get a customer, first, somebody needs to opt into your website, and then they need to get some emails about the thing they just opted in for, because nobody ever opts into a form that just isn't going to give them something. So whether it's a spreadsheet or a lead magnet or a webinar or a video or a course or whatever, free training, they're always going to be opting in for something. So your first responsibility is to get them that something. Then you can put them in a nurture sequence. So the nurture sequence is like, here's what we do. Here's, some links to our blog. Here's a little bit about the founders. Here's links to the social media profiles, whatever's going to help bond them to you. Like whenever I think of, customer acquisition, I have this picture of a mountain. So the mountain is off, in the distance, it's snow capped, there's a thunderclouds over top of it. And when a customer signs up for you, they are either moving closer to the mountain or they are moving farther away. Everything you need to, all the messages, all the campaigns, all the, everything you do needs to move them closer to scaling that mountain. Because the closer they move to scaling the mountain, the more likely it is that you're going to get a buyer, you're going to get a customer. If they turn around and start walking the other way, then of course they're never going to buy from you. So in order to cultivate that and nurture that, then we send them 4 or 5 emails, designed to get them to get to know you better. Then maybe we do a product promo. We introduce them to a physical product you have or a digital product, or a lot of marketers like to, put like $7 tripwires here or whatever, whatever it is you have in your portfolio or your repertoire, that's what you would promote. Then it's not just enough to send the product emails. I mean, then that person needs to click through the email, visit your sales page. Then they need to go to the order form, pull out their credit card and buy, which puts them in like a product purchase sequence, and they get added into a buyer fulfillment sequence. So getting buyers, getting customers is a lot. There's more moving parts than just asking the question, when am I going to get buyers? Because each one of these things represents not a hurdle, but it represents like a doorway they need to step through to move on to the next piece. So your CRM stack is really responsible for moving them through that buyer journey. So the first thing you have is your contact records. So your contact record is where the customer lives, digitally at least, where all their data lives. You need their general information. Of course, you need their first name, last name, you need their email, their phone number, but then ideally you also need some detailed information, like things you would ask on a survey. How many, let's see. We have a lot of real estate clients, so some of their detailed info might be how many beds, how many baths, when was the roof remodeled, or when was the roof replaced, when was the furnace replaced, like stuff like that. All of that should live in the customer record associated with that customer, so that later, when a sales rep goes, or when this person calls in or whatever, they can just pull up one contact record and they have access to everything. It's not strewn about in 3 or 4 or 5 different places amongst spreadsheets and amongst stuff that is hanging out on somebody's computer. You also want to see the history, and the history is really important, especially when it comes to like paid traffic. You want to see what tags this person has, like where they've been previously in your marketing system. What reports did they download? What campaigns, what sequences have they gone through? What pages did they visit? Like I had a meeting the other day with a bank, and I was like, if you have one visitor who goes to 4 pages on your website about commercial lending and you have their phone number, you should really be able to get a notification that says, hey, call this person, they're interested in commercial lending. So the better you can understand your contact, your customer, then the better you're able to sell to that person. Then of course, any tasks associated with that person, any purchases that they would have made, and their overall lifetime value. So all good metrics. Their lifetime value is nice because you can sort based on it. So you can send things to your best buyers, So the email automation piece is paramount in email automation, message automation, however you want to term it. So the ability to send emails out to buyers or send emails out to prospects, email is one of the best communication tools from an ROI standpoint. Email still works better than most everything else. And you need a simple campaign builder. And this is the biggest issue. There's lots of different ways of building campaigns, but if it takes longer to set up a campaign, than a couple hours, or even 10 minutes, then it ends up being too cumbersome, too complicated, and nobody does it. You need a clean email creator. You need the ability to schedule things. So if somebody opts in, for a report, a day later they get email, or they get the first email, then a day later they get email 2, then a day later they get email 3. So being able to delay campaign messages is important. Then custom fields. This kind of mimics the CRM or the contact record piece. You need the ability to use the custom fields in your marketing. So if you're asking somebody how many beds and baths, then you need to be able to use that. And then templates is another big one. So one of the big problems with a lot of the software tools that we've used is the form builder sucks. And if the form builder sucks, then it means that you're not able to request and ask for the information that you need. So what we did was we actually built, you can drag unlimited fields into a form, very much like a Wufoo or a Wufoo or SurveyMonkey or whatever. And all contact record fields and user defined fields are available to be dragged in. There's no weird contact mapping. You don't need to map a form through an API or like a Zapier API back to your CRM. And it saves all the data to the contact record. And then you can easily build extremely custom forms. So we have a business funding client that we're actually, we just rolled him out, and we're building a full survey inside Axis, and it's no additional software. All that information saves directly to the customer record. So you're able to combine a couple different pieces of software nicely. And then you need clean landing pages, clean sales pages that actually convert. So one of the things that we implemented inside Axis is a landing page builder that actually converts better than pretty much anything else we've ever seen. And most of it is because we test the pages ruthlessly, for our clients and for our own stuff. So landing pages, sales pages, confirmation pages, video pages, scheduling pages, and automated webinar pages. So in doing a lot of automated webinars, we have found that the actual webinar tool, like the automated webinar functionality, is kind of cumbersome. It's hard to set up, and really you don't need that tool. You can just have a collection of 4 pages in a countdown that actually moves people, one to the next. And then some of the maps to your domain. One of the biggest drawbacks in terms of time and CRMs is the ability to write email copy. But what we did, and some of the inspiration behind putting it into a CRM itself, is because if we're writing the copy, we might as well be sending it, for clients as well. So there's 25 internal email sequences, a total of 83 emails to promote physical products, digital products, webinars, webinar replays, consultative sales sessions, like all that kind of stuff. And then there's over 700 emails pre-written for affiliate sequences. So there's 20 different niches for affiliates that all of that stuff, it's already pre-written. You go through, fill out a little form, it drops it into the emails, and then you can schedule and automate from there. So fill in the blank forms, email sequences done in minutes. I'll show you this in a little bit. And the best niches for automation. So we've done a lot of work in the service agency, like marketing, consulting, all of that. The biggest thing with the service agency is somebody is coming to you to solve a problem. So that problem, if you can deliver the content and bond and nurture, then that problem, the better they like you, the more readily they will call and ask for services. Banking works really well. Manufacturing, even though from a marketing automation piece, like lead acquisition isn't great in manufacturing. We have a couple local manufacturing clients, and it's difficult to get a high-end, enterprise, like multi-million-dollar company to fill out an email form on a website. They will do it, but oftentimes they just call somebody, at that, like they call the sales rep, or they call, somebody at the company and say, hey, do you make, stainless steel widgets? And the company says yes, and say, okay, here's a quote. What we have found from an automation standpoint is it's much more intuitive to start using automation in the bidding process, or the bidding or the proposal process. So being able to send a document out in an email and then automatically reply, saying, is the price too high? Is it too low? Like that kind of thing. So it's all stuff we're working on from a manufacturing standpoint. Legal's another one, legal and law. Another great place for automation. We have a lot of real estate clients who use marketing automation, both for sellers and buyers. So for people who are selling their property, whether it's a distressed homeowner or it was something that was willed to them or whatever. So in different geographic areas around the country. And then also buyers or investors. So people who they have the capital and they want to invest it in real estate, but they don't necessarily they're not sourcing properties themselves. So 2 different sides of the same coin, but automation works really well. Small and medium business always need solutions for for marketing. E-commerce is another one. So if you have a Shopify store set up, Shopify itself has pretty weak email marketing. They have some shopping cart abandonment and stuff in there, which is kind of cool. But it's difficult to do too much from an email prospecting side with physical products, with the exception of like discount codes and a lot of the physical product companies who are more content heavy. They have they put out a lot of videos, whether it's Instagram or Facebook, and it's a little bit easier to drive like prospect email lists and then convert them into buyers. Insurance is another one. Business services kind of goes with the service agency. Online education and traditional education.
All right, so wasn't that awesome? We have a lot more in store for you when it comes to marketing automation, when it comes to CRM. So if you would like to set up a free account for Access, we talked a little bit about Access on that video. Go ahead and set up a free account. Click the button below this video. Make sure, sign up for an account, and then make sure to set up a demo with me. We'll go through, we'll get you onboarded, we'll get everything all squared away. So on the call, what I like to do is talk about your business, and then we talk about some of the things you need from an email sequence standpoint, forms, and I go in and I start building everything. I start setting everything up for you. So click the button below this video, and I'll see you in a couple days with the next one. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.